Well, some alleged Blizzard insiders keep leaking information, and some of this is staggering. Let's talk about this. Hey everybody, what is going on? Brandon here, this time with a pretty big video discussing some of the Blizzard leaks that have been coming out the last couple weeks. Now, if you've not been paying attention to the media ever since the Blizzard and Hong Kong incident with Blitzchung and them banning one of their players and holding their prize money, a lot of alleged insiders have been leaking information about current projects going on in the company. Now, I must say, these are rumors. There is nothing confirmed from Blizzard whatsoever. But I must also say that the person that I got them from is a pretty good source of information when it comes to Blizzard, and I wholeheartedly believe at least most of these leaks that they have sent me are actually true. And if they are, oh, I'm not very thrilled with this company right now. Now, like I said, all these are leaks and rumors. This is all speculation until somebody from Blizzard actually comes out and confirms it. So don't take this and say, well, Average Gamer said that this is 100% fact, so this is 100%. It's not exactly fact until it's confirmed. So as of right now, going forward, if you're listening to this video, remember, these are not confirmed by Blizzard. These are all speculation. You can believe me if you want, you cannot believe me, but I'm just giving you guys the information that I was given, and I'm letting you guys know the person that gave me the information, I wholeheartedly believe is telling the truth. Now, whether the people that gave them this information were telling the truth, that's, to be seen. We'll have to wait and see. They might be lying. This all might be fiction. It might not be real. But I have it on good authority that the person that at least told me wholeheartedly believes this is true, and I believe them. So let's go. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some of this information. Now, first up is one that's probably the biggest one going around with the leaks. This, I think, was the first thing that was leaked last week or the week before, and that's Overwatch 2. Now, from what I'm hearing, Overwatch 2 is in full production, but it is not actually going to be the same style gameplay as Overwatch 1. It almost seems as if they're still going to keep the current Overwatch game going because it's a completely different game, and this is more of a more heavily lore-inspired version of the game, if that makes sense, with it taking more of the gameplay from Left 4 Dead, where there's so many of you and you got to get from point A to point B while defeating robots and defeating bosses. That seems to be the direction they're going with Overwatch 2, where they've got upgraded character models that aren't too different. From what I'm hearing, it's just a small engine upgrade from the original Overwatch because they are planning on a Switch version of the game, but they have changed some of the story and some of the lore in Overwatch in order to make it fit better into this game, or to at least fit better into the woke narrative, apparently, according to some of the stuff that I've read about it. Like, some of the stories and lore have been retconned. They are going to be focusing on Tracer's girlfriend dying and a romance developing with Widowmaker, which is another one of those ways to pander to that audience. I guess they're retconning McCree's age and McCree's story, saying that he is actually a clone, one of 3 clones of Soldier 76, and one of the clones dying and being murdered is actually a story seed going forward to actually add to the story of this game. I do feel like them changing lore and pandering to audiences is a bad direction to go. They were already doing it with Overwatch 1, with him saying that certain characters were gay years later. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't like it when companies do stuff like that, especially since how we know they're not going to pander to that audience in China after everything that's happened with Blizzard. So it's kind of upsetting to hear this information. I really don't know how I feel about this, because honestly, if I want a Left 4 Dead game, the only kind of game I want is another Left 4 Dead game. Other companies have tried to do that style of game, and it just doesn't work. Left 4 Dead was its own thing, and it really took off and did really well. And Vermintide is probably the closest game to come to Left 4 Dead's success when it comes to that style of gameplay, and I just don't see it really working here. Next up, and this is the biggest one that I really wanted to discuss with you guys, based on if you guys seen the thumbnail and seen the title of the video, is Diablo 4. I cannot even begin to tell you guys how upset the information, if this information is true, how upset I am with Blizzard from what they are doing with Diablo 4, if this information is true. And that is because if these leaks are accurate, Diablo 4 is going to be a first-person looter shooter, like Destiny. Yay! Yeah, I don't know if you could tell the sarcasm there with that final yay, but this is not a good thing. Diablo was never intended to be a first-person shooter at all. I don't see why they would think to go this direction with a game that's got such a huge fan base that is used to the playstyle of Diablo, and why they would take it this way. I mean, I see why they would. They just lost Destiny. They need something to fill that void to get those players back. And to me, that's what makes me matter about this. If you're going to make Diablo 4, make it for the Diablo fans. Don't make Diablo 4 and then try to sell it to the Destiny fans because you screwed up and you lost Destiny. It doesn't really, to me, make any sense. Would I play a Diablo game that was set in a first-person world like this? Yeah, sure, I'd check it out at least. But I don't want a direct sequel to all the Diablo games, which were all top-down RPGs, to now be a first-person looter shooter. It, to me, just does not... it does not make any sense whatsoever. You've got an audience that's been playing these games. I've been playing Diablo for 25 years, maybe? It's maybe even longer than that. I got the first Diablo 1 within the first week it came out. And I got Diablo 2 the day that it came out, if I remember correctly. If it was within the first couple days that it came out, I was in that store getting that game. And all the expansions. Diablo 3, day one, had it. And I don't see why they would take these games and go a direction with them for so many years, basically decades, and then change it to a first-person shooter. I'm sure I'm not alone here in saying that I would play a first-person shooter set in the Diablo world, but not a direct sequel to Diablo. Come on now. Now, this game is being done in the same engine as Overwatch. It's expected to have a spring 2021 release on all the platforms. There's going to be 3 classes at launch, with a total of 5 planned as part of a paid seasonal content. I don't know how much more I can explain my disappointment. Like I said, I would play a game like this set in this world, but Diablo 4, a direct sequel, Diablo 4, is now going to undo so much of the lore. From what I'm seeing in the leak, they're planning on retconning a bunch of the story, changing some things, going a completely different direction with the story, and basically a completely different direction with the franchise entirely. Now, when I heard this game was in development, I instantly thought Vermintide. That's the first game that popped into my head when I thought first-person fantasy-based shooter. Now, obviously, Vermintide falls along the lines more of Left 4 Dead. It's not really a looter shooter, but the combat and the gameplay, as far as using abilities and the weapons you use and the characters you use, I do feel like this is probably going to be very similar. I feel like it's going to feel similar. Now, I could be completely wrong. It could end up playing like Doom. We don't know. But this is pretty upsetting. This was pretty upsetting news. I'm not very happy about this. I don't know if you guys can tell. I just don't really like the idea of them completely changing a franchise that I've grown up with. I told Nathan about it. He was pretty much, I got one word response, and I'll tell you that one word was not an appropriate word to say on this channel. So there's not a lot of people happy about this leak. Next up is World of Warcraft, the classic MMO that most of us played for a long time and left several years ago. Some of this is leaks, some of this is actually information that's already been let known by Blizzard, so some of this isn't really secret, such as the new Alliance races, the Valpura and the Mechanome. They're going to be coming out. But according to the leak, there's going to be a change. They're going to be going the route of Elder Scrolls Online once the game actually, or once the next expansion comes out. They're going to be taking the level cap back down to 60, scaling all the enemies based on the player's level, the same way Elder Scrolls Online does. Now, this is a change that I don't agree with World of Warcraft. It works great in Elder Scrolls Online, but Elder Scrolls Online also did not have, as many players and as long of a subscription fan base that have been playing this game forever. I think I would be pretty mad. Like, I haven't been on World of Warcraft in a while. I think I'd be pretty mad if I logged in one day and my character was taken down to level 60 and there was a level 4 guy that was able to fight the same boss as I was fighting because they decided to go the route Elder Scrolls Online did. It works in Elder Scrolls Online simply because the way Elder Scrolls Online plays, it feels better like this. I don't see it playing better with World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft has a specific style of players that like to play it, and I think this is going to kind of piss them off. And lastly, I'm going to talk about Starcraft. Now, apparently there was a shooter in development, a first-person shooter for Starcraft, which was then canceled, and they then focused on the Diablo 4, which is going to be a first-person shooter. This one, again, not really understanding it. RTS games as a whole have not been very popular as of late. StarCraft 2 did not do as good as the original StarCraft, and Brood War, not even in the esports scene did it do as good as those games. So to me, honestly, if you want my honest, it makes more sense to make a spin-off first-person shooter of Starcraft and try to fill that void Destiny left, because they're both based in the future, rather than go the Diablo route and make the game to fill the Destiny void. But apparently they've canceled the first-person shooter in the Starcraft realm, and they've put production from there over into Diablo 4. So, and for the foreseeable future, we have no new Starcraft news. I think they might have a new expansion plan, but I don't think we have any new Starcraft news. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you excited for Diablo 4? Are you not excited? Do you think they should have kept going the route with Starcraft? Would you have played a Starcraft first-person shooter? Or maybe you're just a WoW player. Are you excited that they might be lowering the level cap and scaling everything? Or are you a classic player that's kind of pissed off that you've worked so hard only to have them change it this far into its cycle? Let me know in the comments down below. But guys, thank you so much for watching. That's all the time I got for this one. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please do us a favor and hit that red subscribe button. If you want to know anytime Nathan or I upload videos, please do us a favor and hit that bell icon. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time.